let's take a look at our top selections for Dan Illman, Mike Beer, kicking off the $500,000 guaranteed all stakes pick 5 at Keeneland on Bluegrass Saturday. It's a sensational card. Race number 7's the Grade 3 Commonwealth for older sprinters going 7/8 of a mile. We take a look at the field. There are some familiar names. Hidden Scrolls finally going to attempt to live up to the potential he showed early in his career. It just seems whenever they run him against tough competition like this, he falls a little bit short, but he looked good winning last time out. Maybe they found his whole card as a sort of mid-pack sprinter.
Maybe they did, Dan. We've seen that. We've seen that movie before, though, where they found the right spot for him, and he really looked like he could run. We'll see if he finally lives up to the hype.
He also seems to like a wet track. Remember that debut win where he won by 14 was over sloppy going. That win off the long layoff, first time for Brad Cox on muddy going. Interesting pace projector. Hidden Scroll expected to make the lead. Now, this is a horse in his prior incarnation with Bill Mott. Had plenty of early speed. He didn't get off to a great start last time out at Oaklawn. I'm going to be very interested to see how Florent Geroux plays the break with this horse because he can make the front. It'll be interesting if they want to.
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking the same thing. I mean, you know, you really don't want them to take away a horse's speed when he has it. So I guess if he breaks this time and he looks like the speed, you kind of have to let him go. But it'll be interesting to see how they play it.
Flagstaff, the number 1, on the other hand, has good tactical speed and will likely work out the trip that Timeform US projects. That was the situation last time out in the hot springs at Oaklawn, his second start of the year. Let's watch that race right now. John Sadler put blinkers on for this race. He pushed the pace inside. He has a look at it down on the rail, and he's just not enough for CZ Rocket and Whitmore, 2 of the best sprinters in the country. The blinkers come back off here. I think 7 furlongs is okay for him, but I know you're getting a little tired of his act as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've just had enough of him. I totally get it. He can win this race. I won't be surprised when he does. I'm just a little bit tired of Flagstaff at this point. Maybe it's the right spot. Then I also am not sure if I feel like he's going to be the favorite here. But if he is, I really don't think I could bet him again.
Here's Hidden Scrolls, first start for Brad Cox, January 24th at Oaklawn, wet track. He is odds on against a full field. And he's cruising up on the outside right now, and he puts away a pretty decent bunch. Royal Daher would come back to earn a 91 buyer, win third, an optional claimer, and a couple of starts after that race, he won with a 96. Hidden Scroll wins this very easily.
He did win this race very easily. You know, just always, you know, the trip actually worked out for him, even though he wound up off the pace and maybe they didn't want to be there. But he always looked like he was going to win, and he did win. Again, Dan, we've seen that show before. We'll see if he's going to live up to it finally this time. It's interesting. He's going to get bet off of that race. He still had a lot going for him, even though he didn't get to the lead in there. And he only ran a 90. I mean, if he runs that race back, he's not going to beat this field.
Bango, the number 3, ran a 97. 3 starts back at Churchill Downs, went on the lead. Maybe they'll try to use his speed again. He ran in an off-the-turf stake at the Fairgrounds last time out. Extravagant Kid was second. He's more of a turf horse, Extravagant Kid, and proved it when he came back to win the Alquaz Sprint at Dubai. Bango has some ability. He has to run that one race, though, that 97 buyer. I'm not sure it's there on Saturday.
I'm not either. He's a little bit hard to trust. He's a little bit in and out. You don't know if you're ever going to get his good race. He does have a little bit of speed, though, when he's right.
Now, Special Reserve is right. He's won his last 2 races. He has shown speed. Let's watch his start. First time off the Mike Maker claim, and he beat Special Daher, who had come back to win with the 96 buyer. Royal Daher, pardon me. Special Reserve was good in here. I know the pace was kind of moderate, and he took Royal Daher's shot. He keeps on going. This is the right spot, I think, for Maker to try a graded stake with him.
Yeah, I don't disagree. His last 2 races are both good. I actually like his race 2 back, and maybe even a little better than this one, Dan, where they took him off the pace and he swept up there. But either way, his last 2 races are good. They're stepping him up at the right time.
Attachment rate was very green last year when briefly on the Kentucky Derby trail. He ended up finishing 14th in the Derby. I think he might be a late-running one-turn horse. He looked good going a one-turn mile at Gulfstream. Let's watch that race on February the 27th. Now, he did have a big pace seemingly to run at. This race was hand-timed after all, but he runs down a nice horse. Endorsed on the lead would come back to run second with a 98 buyer. On his best day, Endorsement's a mid-grade 2, grade 3 type. He's still green attachment rate, as you can see on his left lead, but if this pace heats up, he can come running late.
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it too, Dan. I'm just happy that they're finally getting this horse back in the races that he really wants to go in. I think we talked about a lot of his races last year as a 3-year-old. He ran well in some of them, but I mean, at least in my opinion, he never looked like he really wanted to go that far. I mean, they ran him in what, 8 straight 2-turn races, most of them against stakes horses. Then they tried turf for some reason. Finally back around 1 turn last time. I actually felt like he looked really good winning that race. This is the right kind of spot for him.
For a horse that's earned over $400,000 in his career, the number 6 Mucho must be considered a little bit of a disappointment, because when he ran second as the favorite and the grade 1 hopeful as a 2-year-old, there were a lot of folks thinking that he could be a big-time 3-year-old for Bill Mott. He kind of got hurt after that race, never found his way. John Ortiz took him for $80,000, 3 starts back. And in the King Cotton last time out, maybe he didn't appreciate the wet going.
Yeah, I guess you could give him a pass for the last one just because it was a sloppy track, but man, he didn't show too much in there. Even his win 2 back, Dan, which was fine. It's not a race that I think would make you want to bet him back against this field.
Creek Cussle, the number 7, is the epitome of a late-running sprinter, and at least it was nice to see him get close to the pace going a 1-turn mile last time out in an optional claimer. He always has a puncher's chance, Mike. I wonder if he can stay close to the pace, though, cutting back to 7.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what kind of trip he gets. He's clearly good enough to win this race, Dan. I can't say I'm his biggest fan, but if he's the right price in here, I have no argument with this horse.
Top pick time for the grade 3 Commonwealth. Mike likes closers. So do I. Going to the 7 furlong distance. Attachment rate just needs a little bit of pace. He'll be charging late. One more time for me with Flagstaff. He just seems to fit very well from a class standpoint. I think he can work out the right trip.
I listen, maybe he'll just win this time, Dan. I can't do Flagstaff again. I can't do Hidden Scroll. I've always liked attachment rate. I think this is the right race for him.
5217 for Mike, 1724 for me, and the grade 3 Commonwealth kicking off a $500,000 guaranteed all stakes pick 5 at Keeneland on Saturday.